Welcome back to Phasmophobia. If you guys could like, comment, and or subscribe, I'd appreciate it. Anything that you could do for the channel will help me put more back into the channel for you. All of that being said, we're going to pop on over to Tanglewood. We're dialing this up to Nightmare. And as Sunday's video suggests, or if you can, use a little bit of foreshadow, this is going to be How to Phasmophobia Nightmare Edition. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do this. Same thing. My brain's dead today. I don't care about any of that. We already covered the basics on a lot of this other stuff, so this one's going to be more about how to get the ghost type on Nightmare rather than how to actually, what items to select, that kind of thing, which is all personal preference anyway. Nightmare, you only get 2 evidence or fewer hiding spaces. There's no setup timer professional either. I think the sanity drain speed is dialed up a notch. You can read the whole thing on before you start a game to see what you get. One of the more obvious things right now to newer players is that the activity monitor, or the sanity and activity monitors, are both broken. So you won't be able to use those the entirety of this playthrough on this contract anyway. Everything else is pretty much the same, straightforward. Yeah, that's about it. So we're gonna grab our items, whatever you want to grab to start off with. Do that. I think I'm going to go with thermal, UV, which I forgot I left at 2. I prefer 3, but I was playing with public lobbies the other day. Actually got sunny, which I'm not entirely used to. Alright, so we're gonna hop in here. Same goal as last time. Find the ghost room, get the breaker turned on, and find the bone. Getting the breaker turned on matters a bit more. I believe sanity drain is either dialed up a bit more. If not, then ghosts definitely prefer to hunt a bit more often. We also want to locate some hiding spaces for that same reason. Grabbing the key in there, by the way, is so you can turn off the car alarm should the ghost decide to annoy you. This is actually going to deal a lot more with hunting in this video. Turning on this light, and you have 2 looping spots. When the ghost is hunting you, you can try to maximize the amount of time before you need a smudge, or altogether not need a smudge at all, by, let's say you're right here, the ghost is down the hallway coming towards you, you start coming here, the ghost is chasing you, and you're doing little cat and mouse around the table. The ghost, I believe, can walk through that trash can, so this looping spot's not ideal, but basically you can keep doing this for a while, and then if the ghost gets a little too close, it will speed up while it's doing this, unless it's with a Hantu or Thay. But once it gets here, the ghost speed, when you move, will overshoot the corner and have to come back. That is very useful. I think there's a viral TikTok video, or not TikTok, shorts, probably TikTok too, going around, where there's a person in Willow Street just looping the ghost around nothing because it's so fast that it keeps overshooting where he's at as he's moving. Basically, it's the same premise all the time, anywhere you are, but you need the ghost to have quite a bit of speed in order to take real advantage of that. Hiding space is blocked up too. We got this one, we got that one. We'll try to talk about cursed possessions a bit more in this as well. I'm not seeing a couple of them. I guess it'd help if I'm actually looking for the ghost room with the thermal. 19, 20, 20.1. Ghost room will be colder than the rest of the house. For as long as I've been in here, it should be considerably colder as the living room. The living room's fine. Don't tell me we have a basement ghost. I always find that the room adjacent to the ghost room is also a bit colder than the rest of the house, so when you find a cold room, check around a little bit. I don't know why I'm going to be coughing. I don't know why I am coughing, but I'm probably going to be coughing through this, unfortunately. Nada, nada, nada. Give me something ghosty. Basement ghost. Alright. I mean, likely a basement ghost, I guess. Oh yeah, there's paint cans thrown down here. So a lot of stuff thrown down here. Actually, 8 degrees. Oh yeah, we got ourselves a ghost room. Touch that guy over there. Unfortunately, that doesn't leave any UV. This does. The tops of the coolers do. We'll actually leave this on top of a cooler. It's going to be harder to see ghost orbs with the light on, but you can definitely still do it. They're still there. You just need to be using the night vision feature of your camera. I don't see anything yet. We'll be placing that right there. We've been in lit rooms for a decent amount of time, except for this one. There we go. So you want to kind of keep track of that. I think right now we're probably about 80-ish% sanity, because we were in a lot of dark rooms for a lot of that too. swear I cannot clear my throat. Nope, just threw something else. Nope, that's a ghost orb floating around. Look at that. Yep, right there. That little dot floating around. You can barely see it because it's so bright with that light on, but we can, in fact, see it. So I think, I mean, it was yesterday I recorded this, but last time when we did this, the ghost was a mimic. So we will want to keep an eye out for that. Let's grab other evidence items, get those down in there, set up, test for them, and keep working towards this. Have not spotted the bone yet. Have not spotted the cursed possession yet. On each map, the cursed possession spawns in the same location, depending on the possession. So over here on this end table will be the tarot cards. In the nursery on that shelf will be a music box. There will be the cursed mirror. Inside of this cubby will be the monkey paw. And I think when we got... Nope. On top of this trash can will be the voodoo doll. In the basement will be the Ouija board and the summoning circle. Summoning circle will be obvious and right here. The Ouija board, let me get this set up real quick. Click or set it and then click it and you can pause it so you don't have to... There's the Ouija board. It'd be awesome if the ghost could activate this on its own. I forgot to check something. There's some kind of audio bug. I'm going to set this to no device, that way I can't just straight up get killed. But for some reason, even if you're not talking or you're using push to talk, sometimes apparently the game picks up your mic anyway. No UV yet. It did do activity when we were down here. That means it is not likely going to be a shade. Shades are very shy when there's somebody in their room. Now, if you're right here and the shade is right here, the shade could do whatever the hell it wants to. Otherwise, it's hard scripted to not do any kind of activity when somebody's in this room. I forgot to place down a writing book. Just sprint back. There we go. Something worth noting, I think I've noted it before in previous videos, but for this being the how-to series, the ghost is basically an What was that noise before that? Oh, guess it was just that. Alright. The ghost is basically an NPC. It is a non-playable character that is walking around in the skin of the ghost model all the time. So that's what the motion sensors are picking up when it's walking around. That is what you're... when you have a, let's say, spirit box, or when you're placing a writing book and you see that circle of the range, the ghost needs to be inside of that to be able to interact with the writing book. So that's a best way to try to visualize it, even though you can't see it. I still need to get EMF in there, and that's pretty much it. So I'm actually going to do this. I try to organize my inventory so I can just scroll down quickly. So lighter, smudge, and now additional items. I want to get that last evidence item before we get hunted. So I'm going to be bringing a crucifix down there. 2 or 3 should cover the entirety of that basement. And then we'll get down here and we will talk a little bit about our ghost options. So I'll place this down. You can see the range of that right there. I think right here on this spot seems pretty good, right about there. Wrote in our writing book, just touched the top of this. We heard it slap. Right? Wasn't anything else. Nope, it's the top of that. We do want to test this. Are you here? Are you close? Are you... I don't think that's going to work. Are you here? Are you here? Are you close? Are you friendly? Where are you? Are you here? Are you close? Are you friendly? Where are you? Those are more or less phrases that the game is programmed to pick up and listen for. So if you don't get anything back from those phrases, then it's not likely going to be that for your evidence. We got ghost orbs and ghost writing. That rules out the possibility for mimic. Evident or nightmare only gives you 2 evidence. So these are our ghost options. Thay, Revenant, Mare. Revenant, I mean, we'll have to wait till it actually hunts, but the ghost is probably going to be straightforward enough. Let's see. There's something interesting you can do with Thay, and I'm going to go take sanity medication before I do it. If you ask the ghost on the Ouija board where it's located, I think it takes something like 20 or maybe 50% of your sanity. Again, keep an eye on the comments for Moomis. I think it's 612 to correct me if I'm wrong, or rather, when I'm wrong. But There we go, sanity medication. It takes a crap ton of your sanity away when you ask it that question. I think every other question, there was only about 5% sanity that it costs. So, we took that, we're probably back up to 100% sanity. Or at least we will be here in about a second. I bring this up because the Thay gets older when the player is nearby, and I believe it gets younger when the player leaves. So, how old are you? Goodbye. That is a perfect representation on how to interact with the Ouija board. The ghost says it is 19 years old. So, if we stay down here for a while where the ghost is, and I'm actually going to go upstairs and grab some... I guess we could turn that on, but we're going to grab some motion sensors to try to be within range of the ghost. The Thay has a unique ability where if there is a player within range of it, which I don't know what that range is, but if there's a player within range of it, we'll assume for the sake of argument that it's at least within the ghost room, every 20 to 25 seconds or 20 to 30 seconds, it's programmed to do kind of something like a check. If there's somebody nearby, it will get older. If there's not somebody nearby, it will get younger. Younger means faster, older means slower. Here's the range on this thing. We're going to kind of put this here. Here's the range on this one. Put that there. There we go. So, we've seen where it enters, where it exits, enters. Now it's within range. Still within the circle of this. Exited over here. Entered here. Entered here. So we're just going to try to make sure we're on top of it for a while. We'll do this for maybe a couple minutes, and we'll check with the Ouija board again. Ooh, this way. And then, if the ghost gets older, we know it's a Thay. Yeah, if the age doesn't change, it's probably a Revenant or a Mare. Revenant, we will be able to tell from its hunting ability. I don't believe it has any non-hunting traits, but its hunting trait is that it is incredibly slow until... Oh, that was weird. It's incredibly slow until it has line of sight or hears a player, which even having powered on electronic in your hand counts as it hearing the player. Then it speeds up like Usain Bolt times 10. I think so far we've been down here for about 10 minutes. Oh, Mare's the last one on our list. Not going to go over like every ghost. I don't know every ghost, but these ones I know well enough. Mare, I think we talked about last time, can't hunt in a room with a light on when the player, or when the average sanity is above 40%. Oop, here. Touching that one, but it doesn't have UV. There's that again. Mares also tend to try to turn off the lights more. They cannot turn on a light. And what's another key fact about Mare? Oh, they have a double touch, is what a lot of people call it, on a light switch. Literally, when you turn on or off, no, only on. When you turn on a light switch, it has a chance to immediately almost turn it off. Whether the breaker's on or off, it'll do this when you touch a light switch. Except, bro. Yeah, just keep an eye out for that. Other ghosts can replicate this by just interacting with it by chance when you touch a light switch. I'm gonna turn that off. These are all getting a bit annoying. But it's just something to keep an eye out for. I think it's like it takes 10 seconds to cool down if you do touch a light switch and it doesn't do the ability. It takes 10 seconds, then you could try it again. Maybe 10 seconds. So if you're in a room with a lot of light switches or near light switches or nearby, you could test it with all of them, like, and then every 10 seconds just go through them all again. This has been a good amount of time. How old are you? All right. Goodbye. Goodbye. You gotta tell that board goodbye. If you don't, and you just walk away, or you exit the contract location, the board will explode and a cursed hunt will start, which we're probably actually just going to take advantage of and use that. But first we're going to need to pick up that guy. Because at this point, in order to tell between these two ghosts, we're basically going to need it to hunt. We know it's probably not a Thay. I'm going to lean towards Revenant. Because if it is Revenant, it's gonna kill me. Yeah. Let's have some fun. Actually, no, even a cursed hunt, a mirror would be able to hunt down there. Hide and go seek. Hide and go seek. Hide and go seek. There we go. I'll start counting down, and wherever the ghost model is, it'll start hunting when that gets down to 1. And it'll do this. Or I guess 0. Revenant. We'll display that here in a second. Got that Joe, I married long ago. Where did it go, bro? Where did it go? Where did it go? Okay, now we gotta run. So, you might have heard how fast or saw how fast that ghost just absolutely sped up. That's a Revenant. And then it's so I think it is actually the slowest ghost when it does not have any idea where a player is. Because it is just step, step, step the entire time. Sometimes, I mean, especially if you're on a larger map, you won't even know you have a Revenant, even if you're on, like, no sanity and the ghost is hunting constantly, because it is so slow, it might not even be able to leave the ghost room by the time the hunt is over. That was a cursed hunt, by the way, because I used the cursed object to start the hunt or initiate the hunt. That means that that hunt was longer than other hunts, or rather than a normal hunt would be. So, probably when I started yelling at it in the kitchen, that's about the time that that hunt would have almost normally ended. Now that I smudged it, of course, there's nothing that can cause a Revenant to, one of these, right? Just shut all these off. There's nothing that can cause a, Revenant to hunt within the smudge timer range. So it's nice to have either a program on your computer, or I have a stopwatch on my desk that I can just press as I'm running for my life. Which, I should probably set that up better. Oh. I turned off the light, of course, when it started the hunt, or ended it. You can see that ghost orb a lot better. I need to switch hands with that thing, too. That way I could at least run away. I have it set up for my left hand, which I use for WASD. Could probably set that up for my mouse hand to be a bit more efficient. So we know what the ghost is. It's not likely going to try to kill us any other time normally, so we could actually just load up on sanity meds. Wait a second or two, load up on salt, go down there, take photos. Let's actually just grab salt. We can head in there, take or set these down so it can walk through them. We can take the 9 photos here. What do we need for objectives? Parabolic and crucifix. That's easy enough. I think we severely annoyed this ghost plenty for that. Likes to walk a lot through here. Perfect. So we'll go grab a photo cam. I believe the lights just turned off. Yeah, the lights always turn off at the end of a hunt, so it's nice to have some on before a hunt starts, because you cannot flick a light switch while a hunt is going on, which is very handy to tell if the ghost is hunting, especially on larger maps, or if you have a myline and you're wondering why you can't turn on or off a light. It's a hunting and you can't hear it. That's another ghost for another unique trait. So we'll grab photocam for all those. Crucifix is already in there. We'll grab parabolic, and I have an extra slot, and I value my life, so we will grab an incense, just in case. Because there's not a lot of hiding spaces, and they've played with the game a lot recently, so you can't do a lot of jank things you used to be able to do. This bone hunt looks like it's going to be a little bit more difficult than perhaps on the professional challenge, or not. Or it's only when I'm trying to do something, you know, for you guys and never on my own that the bone just freely gives itself to me. What do I want to do? I'll leave this up here. I'll grab the crucifix. Now we'll go down here. And what did it say? The side of the stain. Here's our 9 photos. I'll also take this photo too for the writing book. Ghost writing. 2, 3, 4. Should probably actually check these. 6, 7, 8. Even though we have one more. Our book. Oh, no, our book's not full. We don't need anything here, right? Right. Neat. Perfect. So yeah, that's all that's down here that we even need to do. These are getting annoying. Drain a bit of sanity by being down here. The tier 3 parabolic is the only one that can pick up parabolic events, such as that whisper. Perfect timing. Through a floor. So we got parabolic. We already have our EMF. We just need to prevent the ghost from hunting with the crucifix. And now I am regretting using the Ouija board to initiate that previous hunt because I just took a lot of sanity meds. Now we have to wait for a while in the dark. Like a while. I should also turn like some kind of light on so I can tell when the ghost is done hunting or burns up the crucifix, because it will turn off all the lights when it does that. I think technically this will count. There we go. So now this part's going to be a bit boring because we just got to wait for it to try to kill us. I think the Revenant can hunt fairly early, like 68% sanity. I'm not entirely positive though. Yeah. So I guess while we're just going to be sitting around waiting for that last objective so we can get perfect game. All of our photos are complete and all 3-star. We know what the ghost is, even though we did not get, was the Revenant's last one freezing? Yeah. Even though we didn't get all 3 evidence for the ghost, we have 2 evidence to narrow it down, and then we used a hunt and identified the ghost by its hunting trait. His premise is going to be expanded on a lot more in depth on the insanity challenge, which you could probably tell is going to be tomorrow's video, when this video goes out tomorrow, rather. And then there's going to be one after that. No sanity, no evidence. It's going to be fun. But yeah, it just gets a little bit more difficult. You need to know a little bit more about the ghosts. And then it's going to be a whole new game when you go back to something like Professional after you're able to do this regularly on Nightmare and Insanity and No Sanity, no evidence. Because you could just wait for the ghost to hunt once and almost be able to get half of them. Because, let me see if I can go through this. Spirit, Wraith, Yokai, Hantu, Phantom, Poltergeist, Myling, Jinn, when you have access to the breaker. So if your breaker's broken, Jinn's almost impossible. It's basically a cursed spirit. The twins, Raiju, Revenant, Obake, Mimic, Shade, Demon, Moroi, Dio, Thay. That's more than half of the ghosts that you can identify directly from one hunt alone. Okay, twins might take you 2 hunts, okay? I'll let with you. Twins might be 2 hunts. But all the rest of these ghosts, like Spirit, smudge it. If it waits more than or equal to or more than 3 minutes to hunt again, it's probably a Spirit. Yokai, if it's like a room away and you're yelling at it, have a powered on electronic in your hand, and it's not even coming towards you, it's a Yokai. Hantu will have cold breath on the ghost model, speeds up in cold rooms, slows down in warm rooms. Wraith can't walk through salt, and will teleport to the character's location. Phantom, gonna be really hard to see. It blinks like less often, more or less, so it's less visible than visible. Oh yeah, I guess for that fact, Oni is another ghost you could tell by a hunting trait. But Phantom, less visible than more visible. You take a ghost photo, the ghost won't be in the ghost photo, and it will disappear. And it will teleport to the ghost, or to the player as well. Myling, really hard to hear, especially when it's like 2 rooms away. It's almost, you can't hear it at all. You can hear it throwing and touching stuff more than you can hear the Myling. Poltergeist throws 1 item every half a second as long as there's an item nearby. It is hard-coded to do that. Something worth noting is all ghosts can do that, but it's a chance between every half second to a second, or even like a second and a half, whereas a poltergeist is forced to every half a second. Twins, one ghost is slightly slower than the spirit, and the other ghost is slightly faster than the spirit. Yeah, there are actually 2 ghosts, but they only ever hunt 1 at a time. But you do have the unique interactions, such as twin interactions, is what they're coined as, where you can have 2 throws at almost the exact same time. really helpful to have a tier 3 EMF meter for that, because it can show you the locations and you can see them both pop up at the exact same time. Raichu will speed up your powered on electronics, and even when you turn those electronics off, they will remain at a elevated speed for a short while. Revenant, as you guys just saw, is really slow unless it has line of sight of the player, then it's really fast. Obake will shapeshift the ghost model from whatever its base one is for that contract into any other one. This is really obvious when it's going from the butcher to the small child. The mimic will always have one evidence more, which isn't really a hunting trait, but you will see probably the most obvious part is the speed difference, because it will mimic the hunting traits of other ghosts. So if you have a ghost model that has cold breath and is slow in hot rooms and fast in cold rooms, and then the next time it always knows your location and is really fast, then you probably got a mimic. Demon kind of has a hunting trait too, I guess. It can hunt every 20 seconds instead of 25 after a hunt, and then at a minute after a smudge instead of a minute and a half like all the other ghosts. Metroid's speed is based on your sanity, and it can start hunting, I believe, at 40% sanity, and that's when it's the slowest, unless you do a cursed possession hunt while still maintaining your sanity. You can even change the Metroid's speed by taking sanity medications while it is hunting. That is most effective with the tier 3 sanity meds. But yeah, it gets its fastest is when you're at 0 sanity, and it does speed up with line of sight still, so it can continue to get even faster than that. As you heard me mention, the Deogen always knows your location. It is incredibly fast. Oh, under the crucifix. Or turn off the breaker. Nope, under the crucifix. Well, since we're so far along, it's really fast until it gets near the player. Then the Deogen will slow down incredibly slow. It might honestly be slower than the Revenant when it doesn't even know where a player is. So, and something to keep in mind, but it's really obvious when you have a Deogen. Big problem with that, though, is even when it's really slow, the range at which a ghost can kill you is bigger than you might think. So if you're... We'll just do this for an example. If the Deogen starts hunting here, and you are right here, it will be really fast for a second, and then it gets slower as it gets closer. Problem is, it always knows where you are, so even if you had a hiding space in here like I do, you hide in there, it'll just come in here and kill you. And you don't have any room to walk around the ghost in this room. So if you don't have a smudge, you just have to wait till you die. It's just, you know, a little bit messed up, but it's happened to me, honestly, in that room for that same reason. The Deogen was in this hallway right as you enter, and I was in that room trying to get evidence. Started hunting. I didn't have a smudge, wasn't expecting to hunt. There was nothing I could do. I was in the far corner of the room, and it killed me. It's probably like a couple seconds away from stopping the hunt, too, honestly. The Thay, we talked about that a little bit here so far, but the Thay gets slower if there's players around it, checks for it every 20 to 30 seconds, and if there's no players around it, it gets faster again. It's maybe one of the fastest ghosts, but it does not speed up with line of sight. So that's something to keep in mind. So if you're all around it a lot before it hunts the first time, and it's really slow and it's not speeding up with line of sight, check the room temperature to make sure it's not a Hantu, but you probably got a Thay. And then the last one is the Oni. The Oni is the opposite of the Phantom. It is more visible than less. So a normal ghost is 50-50, so blinks into and out of existence. A Phantom blinks into existence and then stays out. And an Oni blinks out of existence and stays in. That's the way I try to justify it. So if you can see the ghost really well and you have no problem looping it because you can see exactly when it double backs on you, then you probably got an Oni. I don't think I actually planned on talking about all this ghost that in-depthly, but we took a while to drain our sanity, so... We do have perfect game now. We have Revenant circled. Let's rock and roll. I think somehow this video ended up being less than 40 minutes, but only just. Ah, bro kicked my camera. Better be perfect game, right? Yeah, hit skip button. Perfect investigation bonus, $225. We walk out of here with 1,680. Might notice that's a little bit more money than we got from Professional. Also, Nightmare is 4 times, Professional's 3 times. What's Insanity? 6 times rewards. Yeah, we're gonna love this. Also, I just realized I had a little skull on it. Is Insanity technically Apocalypse 1? Am I noticing that correctly? Let me pop up here a bit. Oh, too far. Reset, Apocalypse 1. 6 times, yeah. So Insanity is Apocalypse 1. I did not notice that before this. So, I guess you could tell what map or location we're going to be doing the Sunny Meadows on. I was intending on doing Insanity probably on Tanglewood as well. We might still do that, but it'd be helpful for you guys probably to know, at least what I know, about trying to find a ghost on a larger map. So, I do hope you guys enjoyed, hope you learned something. If I made any mistakes in this, please correct me in the comments below, and keep an eye on the comments below for corrections from Moomis and anybody else. All that being said, if you could like, comment, and subscribe, I'd appreciate it. Anything that you can do for the channel helps me put more back into the channel for you. I'll see you next time. Have a good one.